that. All right, I think we're good. So Chase is still not here. He is on his way. I'm just tired of waiting, so we're going to get started. And I figured what I would do first off, he's not here, Patrick. We're still waiting on Chase, but I figured I would start off just by explaining what the hunt is, how it came about. So Chase and I booked this hunt about a year ago. We are going to Azerbaijan, and we are hunting tur. And the reason that, kind of how this all started is when I was hunting mountain goats on Kodiak Island. Met a guy there and his wife, Mike and Martha Monin. And Mike is kind of a hunt and gear consultant. And we were talking originally about doing snow sheep, and then the cost just became prohibitive. And so we ended up choosing this one. And this is just, it's a more affordable mountain hunt. You can get these hunts. I mean, it's not like it's cheap. These hunts are, the tags themselves are about $8,000. And then flights are $1,500, but it was something that we could do, especially after Chase's Arctic red hunt, which was pretty expensive. So we got this one going, but okay, we got some comments coming in here. I'll try to get to those as we go, and then Chase should be here. He says 8:30. I don't think it's going to be 8:30. I think it'll be probably 8:45 or 9 o'clock, but I'm just going to get it going, and we'll walk you through the gear that we've got ready as we can. But that's kind of how the hunt came about, was through my friend Mike Monin. It's a mountain hunt, really big, really gnarly mountains, and that's kind of why we wanted to do it. Patrick Pidge, he asked what the allure of this hunt is, and honestly, it's just the mountains. It's not the animal so much. It's a sheep. I've heard that they're really cool. You look at them, they kind of look like a nodad. They're not super good-looking animals, but it was the mountains, and that's what it is, and then the adventure. Chase and I have been talking a lot about it. We're gonna do basically this with the heads. We're gonna just turn them into Euros. We're not even gonna do anything with them, and that's kind of our goal, is to just collect a bunch of Euro mounts. A lot of guys, they have trophy rooms full of really pretty mounts and stuff, and that's not what we're into. Some people collect animals, and we're into collecting adventures. And so just the idea of going to a country that's sort of sat in between Russia on the north and Iran on the south was kind of cool to us, and not super cool to my parents or Chase's wife. So but that's kind of why we wanted to do it. So if that answers your question, Pidge, that's kind of it. So let's see. Any questions? No. All right. I'm just going to start walking you through, and we'll do. I can hear Chase is upstairs, so that's kind of cool. Let's do weapons first. So we're taking two weapons. The first one is the PSE, the bow, the Carbon Stealth. He's here.
What's
the PSE Carbon Stealth? We're taking that, and that's what we're hoping to use. At least I am. But we are also taking this. This is the 6.5 PRC, and this is the new one, the titanium. We've got the scope all dialed in. If you saw, we had some problems with the scope. We've got a new one on there. And because we're taking that, honestly, I'm going to guess that we're probably not likely to kill a tur with that. But we're going to try, so it'll just kind of depend on the situation on the mountain.
There it is, 143 grains?
143, yep, the ELDX. So it's shooting lights out. So that's what we're taking for weapons. Armando Mata says it's good to see you, dude. We're taking the 6.5 PRC over the 28 Nosler strictly because of weight, and this is like a 7-pound rifle, so it's just going to be a lot easier to get up to 13,000 feet than the Nosler, and this will kill a tur plenty well. So
Yeah, that nozzler's like 9.5 pounds.
yeah, so it saves us a few pounds by doing that, as well as the carbon bow. Like that's what we really like about the Carbon Stealth is that it's like really light and it's a platform that's built for long range shooting. All right, so that's the weapons. What else we got?
Where'd you start? I missed it first.
I just started telling about like
Okay.
how we got into this hunt. Just that I met Mike on the goat hunt.
Okay.
So, I guess we can go through some of this gear here. So, the way that this hunt is going to go, I believe, is we're riding horses up to a base camp and then spiking in from a base camp, possibly just depending on where the animals are. So, for a backpack, I've got this is the Evo 4055. Is it 4055 or 4056? Something like that. It's a good, probably 5-day backpack. And it's light, and that's what I like about it. In addition to that, so we're taking this right here. This is a 50-watt solar panel. And the only reason that we're taking that on this hunt is because of the horses. If it wasn't for the horses, we wouldn't be taking that. We'd be taking the 28-watt, what are those things called? The Gold Zero.
Yeah.
Cody asked, do you usually prefer factory ammo over hand loads when traveling, or just what the rifle likes?
What the rifle likes.
What the rifle likes, yeah, and that Hornady factory ammo is pretty good. So I don't love reloading. Sam, luckily for us, Sam is pretty into it, so we can do that. But just if you see questions on there.
Yep.
So we're taking 3 shelters actually. This is the skyscraper, which you would have seen the review that we just did on it. We're this 10. Use your trekking poles to set up. We're taking 2 of these. Chase is going to stay in one of these at base camp. I'm going to stay in the skyscraper, and then when we leave base camp, we're going to take the spare one with us. This thing weighs like, I don't know, it's under a pound. It weighs nothing. We're going to take the spare one with us, so that if we get stuck on the mountain or if we need to stay on the mountain, like from what I understand is that the animals, they like move really early in the morning, and so a lot of times the hunts, they'll just focus on the evenings because it takes them the morning to get up to where the animals are. So if we have to, we will stay up on the mountain where the animals are. We'll sleep in our puffies and use this as a shelter. This is I don't even know what they call it, but this is the Stone Glacier 15-degree bag. Taking that, I will probably sleep with that open. These are the Stone Glacier puffies. I always take puffies every trip we go on. Puffies are essential. They weigh virtually nothing, but provide a lot of insulation in case you never know what's going to happen at 13,000 feet. So in case the weather gets shitty, we'll have some warmth. And then rain gear. And for the rain gear, I've got the Kuiu stuff, and I don't remember which one I got. It's not like the Yukon. It's the one right underneath the Yukon.
The
Chugach, yep. I got it in solids because I don't like wearing camouflage, so this is the dark gray. Got it everything all bagged up into individual sacks. I like to do that. Just if you remember, there used to be a time when backpacks came with pockets everywhere, and I always hated that because this is how I like to pack. I like to just organize it myself into these kinds of packs. Sleeping pad, and then we get into like some clothes. So I am taking gaiters because the grass gets wet, and so we want to keep our feet dry.
Paige said I better cardio out all that birthday cake I just had. I'll be working that off for sure.
Yeah, yep. And then food. So the guides, from what I understand, there's going to be a lot of food there. But the last thing on earth we want to do on this hunt is
get the shits.
Get the shits. Like, yeah, don't want the runs at 3 in the morning where I'm puking out one side of the tent and crapping out the other, because that's been known to happen. So we're taking our own food. For this is like kind of day snacks. I never eat a lunch. I always just kind of snack. So we've got
Thai Mountain House.
It's really good, yeah, really good. And no runs, so I'm gonna take one. Yeah. So we got like pro bars and a ton of stuff to drink. Like this is the hydrate and recover and the energy and focus. And then I picked up some of these things. I forget what they're called, but I found them on Instagram, and they kind of taste like dish soap, but I'm going to take them anyways. So I've got 6. The hunt is 5 days. I've got 6 of those packed. This is just like camp gear. Oh, not just camp gear. We got some good stuff there.
Which one would you pick?
Tell us, guys, which one? That's not really a question, I bet. Just lights and bug nets. The bugs can be pretty bad, especially down at base camp. I think once we get up to 13,000 feet, we won't really have a problem with the bugs.
Both. Pendleton.
Yeah? Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
You got one vote for both?
Yeah.
2 for Pendleton.
No kidding. I bet those 2 are people who haven't tried larceny.
Yeah, you gotta try it. Pendleton's really good.
It is, yeah.
But this is good
but
stuff.
larceny is outstanding. So,
Back to your bug net.
couple headlamps. So a main headlamp and then a backup headlamp just in case. I've got some tint lights just because I like to have
Do your
those.
headlamps take batteries or are they rechargeable?
One of them is rechargeable. So this, I just picked this up today because I couldn't find my Petzl. So this is the BioLite. It's tiny little thing. It's pretty cool, and it's a rechargeable battery. And then this other one, I got this on Amazon for like $15. It's a Phoenix, and this one uses a battery. It's one of those odd like CR2 batteries or something, like not your normal things. So that's like just some sort of knick-knack camp gear.
Speaking of rechargeable things and the solar panels we were talking about, we take these battery packs right here. Like this one's called the Anchor. I think it's like 26,000 milliamps. You charge up in-reach devices, headlamps, all that stuff.
Yeah. So, and then for clothes on a 5-day hunt, probably the biggest thing that we're concerned about on this hunt is the heat. It's supposed to be like, it'll probably be in the 80s to 90s, and we're going to be at 13,000 feet. And so we wanted to go fairly light. And so this is which one is this, dude? I don't know. This is that dot air fabric stuff that KUIU has.
Martin says to put it in a Listerine bottle. He says in Muslim countries they'll take it from you.
I was wondering about that actually. Yeah, that's a good idea. I was just thinking that I was going to ask Mike if it's okay to take that in. Thanks.
I hear they have plenty of vodka there.
I'd imagine so. All right, so I'm taking, what are these called? Do you remember? The Tiburons. Those are the Tiburon pants, and then I'm also taking a pair of attack pants. And then for shirts, so I'm taking 2 that'll go up on the mountain. And then for shirts, I've got, this is just a couple of their merino short sleeve shirts, and then this one's got a hood, and I'll use that hood just in case it gets really sunny. 3 pairs of socks, 3 pair of underwear, and something to cover my neck, so a neck gaiter basically. And that's my clothes. My optics on this hunt is I'm just taking my Razor 1250s. Chase is taking his Swirl 15s, and we're also taking the 95mm spotter. So that's my gear. Is there anything else? I think that's about it. So what do you got? Should we switch? We can go through your stuff. All right.
I'd say my stuff is very similar to Jay's as far as like sleeping bag. He's taking the tent. I don't know if he said earlier, I'm just taking that tarp system. I run this big Agnes pad, super lightweight mummy pad.
This thing is incredibly light. It weighs nothing.
Along with taking our own food, I'm going to take an MSR universal stove. So this is a brand new bottle. If you're going to travel, I would recommend not taking a used bottle. Brand new, no smell of gas, anything in it. The thing over there's no fuel canisters. There's no fuel that you typically use in your jet boil or anything. So what I have is this titanium stove, and I have an MSR stove. It's their universal stove. It can actually burn gasoline. So once we're there, I'll fill this up with gasoline, and I'm guessing they'll have their own way to boil water for us, but we like to be self-sufficient. So I don't. Last thing I want to do is, like, you know, you have this communication gap, and you want to ask these guys for water while they're making their tea and whatnot, and I don't know. It's part of not wanting to inconvenience anyone, and part being self-sufficient. So actually taking my own stove. When you're traveling with the stove, airlines kind of frown upon used stoves that might have gas in them or any kind of fuel. So you want it to be a new stove, or you want to clean it up to where it looks new. I mean, anything, any kind of soot on it's kind of a red flag. They might take it from you. So I have a brand new universal MSR that will burn gasoline. So other than that, the basics, like Jay said, we always carry our puffies. I have the 15-degree sleeping bag as well. I have always take my pillow. That's
been used.
Never been washed.
Well used.
There's been a lot of nights on that thing. Let's see, a little towel. These things dry out pretty quick.
These are really important when you've got cameras with you as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Just keeping your electronics dry is important. They can take some rain, but you want to get them dried as soon as you can.
So I don't want to repeat a lot of things that Jay has. I mean, we have the same, like, as far as food and a lot of things go. Jay will carry the long lens, where I will carry the spotting scope. You know,
yeah, I didn't talk about cameras at all.
Jay will carry the bow, and I'll carry the We'll split weight as much as we can. As far as packing this stuff, right there, she's the reason we were late.
The culprit. I figured I couldn't harass them too much, since Chase is taking off for 10 days when we go.
Gotta keep her happy.
Yeah. Happy wife, happy life.
So,
Rosetta Stone for Arabic. We know the sign language. It's here, here, here.
So what I do, I'll have all my gear, and I'll have it in this Sky Palace 6900. I'll pack it up in here, and then I'm going to put it all in a big duffel bag. So do that. I mean, you could fly with this thing, but you're risking, TSA is pretty rough on stuff, and you're risking half your buckles being broken when you get there and everything else. So I'll stuff that, my boots, my food, all in this duffel bag, which weighed, what did I weigh it? 42 pounds?
42 pounds.
So 42 pounds worth. And so I will have a rifle case, this duffel bag, and a carry-on camera bag, which we'll get to in a second, and then pretty much have 3 bags each. So could probably do it with 2 if we didn't carry the amount of camera gear we carry, but then you wouldn't be able to see these things. So, and another thing, I always roll up an extra duffel bag and I throw it in here, because with most of these hunts we're going on, if we have the permit, the CITES permit, we can bring home the heads, the boiled heads, in a duffel bag. So we will clean those up, wrap them up, hopefully get them through customs, and get to bring them home with us.
Pidge wants to know what boots.
These boots are the Crispy Brick Stall. I think that's how you.
It's like the newest version.
It's the stiffest boot that Crispy has. Last year I wore those Las Sportivas. They were great. My feet did not get wet, which was awesome. Hunting for 17 days with dry feet. But that being said, let me go grab them real quick. That being said, on my sheep hunt in the Northwest Territories, I mean, there's just a ton of steep climbing, and these are awesome, stiff, lightweight boots, but I wore that down, and later in the season, I started getting some water in there, so La Sportiva, didn't want to replace them, even though that was the only hunt I've been on, and the tread's awesome still, but that'll be like an elk hunting boot or something. Anyway, decided to try these Crispies out. They are a little heavier than the Sportivas.
Couple ounces, right?
Couple ounces heavier, but
they're also taller.
They're not red, but they're taller. They're stiff. I don't think they're quite as stiff. I don't think the shank's quite as stiff as those, but they're stiff enough. And yeah, I'm gonna give them a try.
Okay. And then another question: what duffels are those? What are the brands?
Man, we bought these in Alaska. I don't even.
Yeah, it's Mountain Hardware.
This is a Kuyu duffel. I think it's like their 8,000 or something.
It's the biggest one they make. The I think it's Take-U 9,000. Tac-U 9,000.
Yeah,
you see that there.
This is the Mountain Hardware.
Does that still have the Barney's tag on it?
Yeah, and
we picked these up in Barney's in Anchorage.
This has been on like 18 flights, and the new tag is still there. This thing, it says $170, but we paid like 90 for
Yeah,
them.
they were getting rid of them. I think they may have closed them out or something, but these bags are awesome.
Another bag.
The way they open up like that is really great.
This is the new Stone Glacier bag. We just got this last weekend. It's got the backpack straps on it, which is pretty sweet. So it's a little small to fit all that in, but I think they make a bigger one too.
Yeah, they
like
do.
6 or something.
So any expectation of ice or just scree?
There might be some snowpack up there. I think if you're asking like about like traction and up top, I want to say like they said the grass can get wet and get slipperier.
More slippery.
More slipperier.
More slipperier.
Then it can get a little more slick than the tops there. We're going in the summer, so you can like picture high country Colorado where you still see some snowpack in the shady areas and that stuff. This is what it's going to be like.
Yeah, these big tall mountains. So, but pretty far south, like near the equator.
Yeah.
Kevin Passmore wants to know if you've got the Werthers.
Oh, might have to pick those up in the airport. That was a bargaining tool. Kevin and Andrew loved those last year. Yeah.
All right. Want to do camera equipment real quick?
Yeah, you can do that.
Okay. You got your your camera back?
Yeah. So I'll bring this over here. All right. So this is my carry-on, and as you know, all lithium batteries have to be carried on. You can't check lithium batteries. So dang near everything we use these days is lithium batteries. Headlamps, cameras, battery packs, all of it. So my bag ends up, it usually gets checked every time. Like I go through the little fuzzer and they have to look at everything because it's just this glowing piece of lithium in the x-ray there. So
just real quick before we get into cameras, Armando wants to know what kind of socks.
So I'm going to take a few pairs of socks. I'm going to take those darn tough mountaineering socks that I usually wear. Not the tall knee-high ones, but the red and black ones that are more of like a crew sock. I'll take a couple pairs of those. It's hot, but those seem to like soak up the sweat for me. They're a thicker sock that you would think mountaineering, snow, cold, but actually they fill out my boot and they take the moisture away from my foot a little better. And then even when we stop, I can take my boot off and they dry out pretty quick because they're merino. And then Stone Glacier makes a new synthetic sock that's really nice. It's a thinner sock, and Jay's actually wearing a pair right there. So gonna take a couple pairs of those as well. So kind of play around with both. I know the Merinos work. Yeah, they do get a little warm, take sweat away, but I'm gonna try these thin ones too and see how they're gonna do. So on to camera gear. My main camera is the Sony Alpha 7 R3, so A7R3, and this is a lens on loan. Actually, the Sony guys sent this to me to try out for the couple weeks, so
hopefully it doesn't break it.
Yeah, I gotta take care of this thing. This is the 16-35 2.8. It's a landscape lens that I've always wanted to buy, and Jay and I met up with this dude at the Overland Expo, and he was cool enough to let us try whatever we want. So we're gonna start with this one, maybe try out probably my second favorite camera is the GoPro. We're gonna run a couple of these. I have the 7 and we have a couple of the 6s, and GoPros are awesome. We throw them on the trekking poles, use them as kind of a selfie stick. You get a lot of really good point of view shots. You're over a big canyon, you're looking at some different stuff. This kind of gives you that realistic view of it. So, and this year we picked up this 360 camera, which has a lens on each side, and as the name says, it films in 360. So we're gonna try this thing out, hopefully on some of those knife ridges, some of that bigger stuff. So.
Yeah, or shreds too.
Yeah, or shreds. So that's it. The rest of this stuff, I mean, we'll record some audio. This, if anybody from Azerbaijan is watching, this is a GPS. This is not a communication device at all, just a GPS. You know what I mean? So GoPro batteries. Also, with the spotting scope, Kevin put together, a buddy of his built this, and we've had a lot of questions about it, and we need to figure out something on this. But this right here is the Sony RX100, and then we run it on the 95mm Swaro. So his buddy fabricated this up for us, and if you watched any of the footage from Northwest Territories in season 5, a lot of that sheep footage was shot with this little camera. It's an awesome little camera. It's 4K, takes great photos. If you're looking for just a small all-around camera, highly recommend this one. And it fits in our bino harness. It fits in the side pouches, the rangefinder pouch there. So
Adam says to patent that.
yeah, Kevin, you're watching.
Yeah.
Kevin, get on this. We call this the bro cam. So
what kind of tripods? Chris wants to know.
there you go.
So we'll start with your tripod, since it's the.
This tripod has seen a lot of miles.
How long have you had that? 4 years?
No, I've had it 5 years. I
5
bought
years?
it 5 years. I bought it when you upgraded, so this is still your second-hand tripod. This is the ProMaster. They discontinued this years ago, so I'm sorry, I can't recommend it. There are some other carbon ones on the market. Jay can show you his. This is Kevin's Outdoorsman's head. This is the new head they make. Cool thing about this head is it set up with these bars. It can hold Arca Swiss plates, which we run that Peak design. That this little clip, tiny little clip, clips onto your backpack, and then that little plate there is what we hold these cameras on our backpack. Makes it easy access to get some of that film. Anyway, this will hold those plates. We typically run Manfrotto plates. You can take these jaws off, run Manfrotto plates, so you can run either. Jay's going to show you something cool here in a second, though. This Outdoorsman's head is new for them. This one, like I said, is Kevin's. Kevin's let me take this up there. It's lightweight. It's well built. We're going to give it a try, see what it is. But this tripod weighs nothing. Had it forever. I beat the crap out of it. And I should probably get something new that I could actually recommend to people, since this one's been discontinued for so long. But it just keeps going for me. So here, show them yours.
So I when Victor killed his Coues deer in Sonora last year, I actually left my tripod on the mountain there. So when I got back, I had to get a new one, and I really wanted another ProMaster, but as Chase said, they are discontinued. And so I did a lot of searching. I ended up settling on a Binro, and this is called the Binro Mach 3. And one thing I like about it is it's only got 3 leg sections. It is probably a little bit heavier than I expected it to be. They make another one, I think it's like a Mach 2 or something. It's a little bit smaller, a little bit less expensive, and it weighs quite a bit less, and that's probably the one that I should have got. But I always look for a tripod that's only got 3 leg sections. I do not like 4 leg section tripods, because when you get them out, or when you get them up on all of those legs, they get wobbly in sort of a rotational direction, and I really hate that. So I'll always look for a 3 section leg. And then as far as heads, I didn't want to get another Manfrotto head, so I found this head on Amazon, and it's the Komodo K5. It's made by a company called iFootage, and it's super lightweight. It's really smooth, and so far I like it a lot. It does use a Manfrotto sized plate, quick release plate. The only thing that we really kind of don't like about it that we found so far is that even when you lock it out all the way, it still wants to go. Like, there's no solid lock on that head. But because we're using, so let me grab this. So I generally tend to carry our long lens. This is the Sigma. It's a 150 to 600, and on this I have a Manfrotto sized plate, and so this head fits that Manfrotto sized plate really well. And then the problem with that, though, is that Chase showed you that Peak Designs clip that we keep on our backpacks so that we have our cameras handy all the time. That uses an Arca Swiss plate, and an Arca Swiss plate is quite a bit smaller than the Manfrotto sized plate. And so I found this. It's Pro Media Gear PM501 is I forget what it's called, but the item number is PM501. And basically what it is it's a Manfrotto sized plate that they built an Arca size. I don't even know what you would call that, almost like a container. So basically you have this piece right here that slides in, and this right here is Arca sized. So now I can use both the long lens and my camera without that on the same head. So that's been really cool.
I will say, that's a really cool design. I haven't used this head yet, but one thing that has been nice is Outdoorsman just making the longer plates.
Like a really long plate.
Yeah,
awesome.
so they're making an Arca Swiss width. So the width on this is the same as Arca Swiss. And so you can get a longer plate if you need one, like here with the Bino adapter. This is another Arca Swiss plate that came. I don't know if it comes with this head. Probably should. But
if you've looked at the head at all, you know why he said that.
Yeah, but it seems solid, and with these different size plates, you can run everything we have on that same. So, but this is a good option as well to be able to run 501 plates and Arca plates. So a couple questions here. Paige wants to know, so what's the production time and when can they expect to see this?
So we're doing things a little different. I don't know if you guys caught on to like us explaining that a couple of videos ago, but the last 2 years we've kind of held back all of the footage, and we've done a season starting in March. We decided that we're not going to do that anymore. Instead, the plan is that we will produce a short film from each of our hunts that will be released for free on our YouTube channel, ad free, thanks to all of the tribe members. Shout out to all you guys, thank you. but it will be ad-free on our YouTube channel within probably 3 weeks of us getting back. So mid-August, you should have the video from the tur hunt. And it'll be one video. It'll be like a 12 to 20 minute film, kind of like some of our earlier stuff, a little more cinematic. Just kind of give you the nuts and bolts of the hunt, just this is what happened. And then for those of you guys who like the longer drawn out series, a week or so after that film is released, we're going to do a behind the scenes series that'll show you more of like the day to day. So what else? Anything else? Camera wise, like this is the only difference really between me and Chase is that I shoot the Panasonic GH5. It's a very small sensor. This is a micro four thirds sensor. That's the big difference between Chase's camera and mine. But I like this camera because of the color. It's got a 10-bit color depth, and it's just a really beautiful image. So it's not as good in low light, but if aside from probably the first 15 minutes of the day, the last 15 to 30 minutes of the day, this camera is super capable and produces just a really beautiful picture. So really hoping that Sony's, they just announced the new A7R, the R4, and I'm really hopeful that it'll have 10-bit color. There's some rumors out there that it won't, but if it does, then I'll probably trade this in and get a full frame.
I'm guessing
with 10
they
bit.
won't until the S3. I bet they're saving the 10-bit for the S.
That'll be cool. Yeah, I'll be happy with that too. So I don't need the huge sensor. So that's kind of my camera setup. All the gear.
Yeah.
Tripods.
So one thing we do with this is we're gonna tack this rifle. This is actually a double rifle case. Always take the bolt out. We're gonna put the ammo in a different case. What we'll end up doing is put the ammo in the bow case, and we'll put the arrows in the rifle case, just to, I don't know, save a little bit of.
The airlines like it that way.
Yeah.
They like it to be separated.
I'm
not sure about the arrows, but
yeah, I don't know if the arrows, but it's easy enough to do it. And then we'll take
the ammo for sure.
We'll take some clothes and we'll just pack it all around this rifle. Try to keep. And you guys know how TSA is. They can really screw some shit up. So we just try to pack as much around that rifle as possible and keep it as tight as possible.
It's going to be oversized and it's going to be overweight. So we're trying to get as
overweight. Pay the overweight baggage. We'll stuff that as full as we can. That's a check baggage. Bow case, same thing. Bow, we'll stuff around it, and that will be a checked. Jay's going to throw all his gear in a duffel bag.
Yeah, I've got the same.
Camera case full of cameras and batteries. This is Jay's camera case full of cameras and batteries. That is our carry-on. My carry-on, Jay's carry-on. So pretty much 2 check bags each, 1 carry-on each. Oh, we'll have like a little personal bag that you can always carry on.
Like a laptop bag or something.
And like a little personal bag. So water purification.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yep.
There's a lot of sheep and domestic animals up on those mountains, so we're not going to drink directly out of the creeks. And it's also the middle of summer, so
yep.
I don't know. I've never used it. This is Chase's.
It's a SteriPen, so this is an ultraviolet light that I used on my moose hunt because we were pretty much filling up our water bottles while we were standing on top of a beaver dam. So the moose hunt, there's not a lot of moving water. So that's when I bought the SteriPen. This one is a USB charger. So I have another one that goes off batteries. This one's a USB charger. So with the battery pack and the solar panel, we're going to take this one. Here it is. So the cool thing about this is bought the SteriPen ultraviolet, and then I bought this you put this on top of a Nalgene, pull that out of there, pull the cap off, pop that in there, and this thing, pretty much you push power and it has lights on it, and it says you hold it in there for probably like 90 seconds. That's a guess, but 1 to 2 minutes, and I just turn it upside down, move it just a little bit, and the light will go off, and you're good to drink it. So I'm hoping the water. Also, this doubles as a little screen there. So if there's a lot of sediment, if there's a lot of just crap in the water,
keeps the leaves out of your teeth.
What you do is that just pops in there a little quick. You dunk this under the water, pull this out, stir your pin in, you're good to drink. So we have this. This is going to be for our drinking water. We have that stove I told you about for boiling water for our meals and whatnot. And then there may be some snowpack we can count on up there. But what I've been told, we're going to be going to the bottoms to get water. So do you have yours handy?
Oh yeah, it's right.
We have
It's right here.
we have 10 liter dromedary bags. So they're kind of
So this is just like toiletries, knives. This is my kill kit, and then this right here. I just picked this up today. Yeah, it's an MSR 10 liter dromedary fill bag. So, and this should fit on the horses without, like, we won't need to worry about this getting punctured as they ride back up the mountain on the horses. So, from what we understand, just talking with other guys who have done this trip, is that you give one of the young kids in camp, like a $5 bill or something. He'll go down the hill and come back up with water. So, so I'm gonna try this out this hunt. This is a binocular adapter. It's very similar to the Outdoorsman's adapter. It's made by Mutant Gear, and they actually got a patent on this thing. So here you've got the Outdoorsman's version of it. Here you've got the Mutant Gear version of it. This is made of different materials. So the Outdoorsman is all aluminum. The Mutant Gear is an aluminum base, but it uses an anodized steel insert here with a nut instead of a gnarled knob here. And that's good because the one thing that happens with these Outdoorsman's adapters, if you've used them for very long, you know that they do get stuck. And so you can have your binoculars on there and try to turn this, and you just can't get your binoculars off because this knob gets stuck. And so this button, it's got, I forget what size this is, like 9/16 or something. And you can just put a socket on there or a wrench on there or whatever and just twist that off really easy. It's rebuildable. There's a couple things that we really like about it, a couple things that we don't. This will be the first trip that we are taking that on, and we'll just see how it does compared to the Outdoorsman's. What else? Oh yeah, the phone scope.
Phone scope for phone footage. The RX100 I just showed you. I can get some awesome 4K, but I carry my phone for the inReach device, and also you can have some map services and whatnot. So you know how it goes. There's so many apps and so many good things on a phone these days that you're kind of silly not to carry some sort of digiscoping device with you. So I ended up losing my other one, and Phone Scope sent this little adapter for the 95 out. Just showed up today, so I want to thank them for sending that. Always carry one of these for cleaning the moisture off your lenses, dirt off your lenses. Last thing you want to do is take your shirt and wipe a camera lens or an optics lens. So for the little bit of weight this is, it's worth it. So always carrying that, some way to clean. Did you go over your rangefinder?
No, I gotta go. We'll just take your rangefinder, I guess. I don't know where mine's at.
So
I haven't seen it since we shot yesterday.
SIG 2400. I've been running that for a couple of years now. I won this thing on a raffle. So
And then like a month later, I dropped it 1,000 feet off
go,
a cliff in Alaska.
It's got a little bit of road rash on it. Go back to season 4 and watch our sheep hunt. You can see Jay drop this thing.
Cody wants to know what knives.
What knives? We are running some McGinnis knives. Jerry McGinnis and his family are out of North Carolina, and they make some awesome knives. Check them out on Instagram, Facebook. But he made this new design for us. I forget what he's calling this model, but skeletonized handle and sweet little logo there. But the little Orleans they had before, you can see the difference. A little smaller, different shape on the tip there.
It's more of a drop point hunter.
Yeah. But these are some new ones we just got from him. We're going to try that out. And another cool...
I don't have one of those, so...
You don't have one? Yeah, you got one. I laid it right next to this knife.
I never got it. I picked it up. There we go.
Right here. Little carbon fiber. Everybody's used a Havalon. Last thing you want to do is be sharpening all the time when you're trying to do some caping or some tedious work. So he cut out these carbon fiber handles for us, which are going to fit our Havalon blades. So that's really cool. This thing weighs a whole 1/10 of an ounce. So that's what we're using for knives. Went over the food, cameras, digoscoping. What else we got?
I think that's everything. This is one thing that we've done here. I'll show you.
Show you Jay's address.
Yeah, my PO box. This is a 4473, I think it's called. Basically, it just tells the customs agent that I had the rifle in possession before we came back into the country, so that they don't try to tax us on bringing the rifle out. And then just as far as paperwork goes, so we're going to carry like a couple copies of our itinerary and a couple copies of this is like a visa, a couple copies of a hunting permit and a rifle permit, and basically just all of the paperwork that we need we're going to carry with us, and just have a couple of copies of it just in case. Just nice to have paper there. If we happen to be fighting with an airline agent that doesn't know, at least we have documentation of everything. And that's just something to do when you're traveling with firearms. Some of those guys just don't know and don't care to learn. So if you have the paperwork with you, it's always helpful. Can't think of anything else.
Yeah, that's pretty much all the gear. I mean, if more questions come in later, we can send you the answers. We can do more breakdowns on specific gear if you need. Yeah.
So, and then I guess when we get back after the trip, we can do a rundown.
We'll follow up on how it all worked
out.
Yep.
Cost of this hunt per person, it'll range. Different outfits are going to charge different things, but typically I'd say it's if you wanted to do this, I would plan on $11,000-$12,000, like all in for the hunt, the flights, the tips, food, hotels, everything that you need. I'd probably plan on 10 to 12 grand.
I'd probably plan on about 15.
15.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, you never know. I guess you do know, but the hunt itself is I want to say they go for $8,500, and then $1,500 for flights. Our flights out of Houston to Istanbul and then on to Baku. From Baku, we will drive towards the Russian border for 4 or 5 hours and then get on some horses. We've got a military checkpoint on the Russian border, near the Russian border, that we have to go through. And then we'll be in the mountains. So planning to, like for our base camp, to be around 9,000 feet elevation, and then we'll be climbing up every morning to about 13,000 feet.
Yes,
so 9 to 10.
This is just her, no ibex on this one.
Yeah.
There are some ibex, I'm sure, in surrounding areas, but nothing close to where we're going to be.
Yeah. So the other animals there's a chamois in the area. There's a brown bear in the area. And
Roe deer.
I think there's a roe deer or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What do they call those brown bears?
Caucus.
Yeah.
The caucus brown bear.
And then the Havilon handles, we're kind of prototyping them, so they might be available here pretty soon. We're going to give Jerry some feedback on that. And yeah, I know he's already been whipping up a couple more, so yes, I believe he is planning on doing that. The best way to keep up with Jerry's knives is he has a really big Facebook group that he posts. It's just a private Facebook group, and you can go join it. And he posts a lot of his knives on there.
It's funny. That's how a lot of custom knife makers operate.
Yeah.
They just sell it directly on Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah.
So let's
well,
see. I think that's good. So
we're gonna get all this stuff kind of organized a little better, and then that's it. So thanks for being here, Pidge. And
yeah, thanks to everyone who's tuning in. This is the first time we've done it. If it's good, we'll probably keep doing it. So if we can get, we'll just have to plan it around Chase's wife's schedule. So we'll be good. Cool.
Cool.
All right, guys.
How do you exit out of this thing?
I don't know. Let's find out. We'll just hit that button. Thanks, guys.